All right, y'all, listen. The great pivot. The great pivot. The great pivot. Let's talk about it. This is what I really think. This is what I think. It's our job to have dreams. It's our job to have goals. But it's also our job not to be so hung up on those dreams and goals that when it doesn't work out quite the way you think it should work out, your world feels like it's crashing down. You feel some kind of way. Yeah, we're human, we're emotional, we're gonna feel something. But it's our job to accept the pivot with grace. And dare I say, excitement. Be excited for the opportunity to change. Be excited for being a person who handles adjustment well, who knows how to adjust, who knows that not all is lost, right? So for years, guys, we've been wanting to pay off this house. We've been dreaming of paying off this house for years. Then when it finally seemed, I'm sucking on a mint. Hopefully this doesn't make me sound crazy. But when it finally seems as if the end is in sight, you can see at the light at the end of the tunnel. I believe I said that in one of the videos. Life happens. Life happens. So as many of you know, and for those of you who don't watch every single last video that I put out, maybe you don't know, but once again we find ourselves without a government job, without a high source of income flowing into our lives. It was going to take that high source of income to pay off this house. I know I've mentioned it in comments, and I may have mentioned it in a video, that I do have the money in my bank account to pay off my house today. Right now we stand at owing $97,000 on the home. However, without a job and without seeing the opportunity to have another job in the near future, I do not feel comfortable using $97,000 of my money that's sitting in a bank account to pay off a house when it's just not necessary. Because let's review the facts. The facts are my mortgage is $1,536. I can afford to pay that mortgage without a job. Jay can afford to pay that mortgage by himself. That's comfortable for us, right? Let's look at the facts. The facts is my interest rate on that mortgage is 2.25%. To put those in numbers, that means every single month I'm paying less than $200 in interest, about $185 a month in interest. So out of that $1,536, $185 of that is going to interest. Not too shabby. If you think it's too shabby, if you think that's bad, I invite you to take a look at your own mortgage statement. Because sometimes we don't do this. We have the mortgage, we know what our mortgage is, and we just pay it. We don't really take a look at how much of that is going to escrow, how much of that is going to principal, how much of that is going to interest. So I invite you to take a look at your own mortgage statement or somebody's mortgage statement that you know, and look at how much of whatever they're paying or whatever you're paying is going to those three categories, right? My escrow is not included in my mortgage. So what this means is that I pay my own insurance bill every month, the same way I pay my car insurance, right? It's all the same bill. So I pay about $400 a month. About $3 something a month. Between the insurance on my vehicle and the insurance on my home. Then I also pay my own taxes twice a year. The taxes come in about, let's say, $3,500 twice a year. I have that money saved up in my savings account so that when that bill comes due, the money is already there. I don't need a job to pay that bill. Those are the facts. So like I said, the facts are the mortgage I have is not really stressing me out, causing undue hardship, or it's something that I can pay even without having a job. It's something that Jay can pay. Even if I didn't contribute to it, he could pay it. We're comfortable. Now, paying off the house, again, the goal was to pay it off by December. But again, that goal was going to be based off of me using the money that I earned from my paycheck. A big chunk of that money to go on the house, right? It wasn't relying on me pulling money from my savings. Yes, some was going to come from my savings just to make that December goal. But most of my savings was going to still be intact. I'm comfortable that way. Now that we don't have employment in the traditional manner, I'm choosing, and I know a lot of you are not going to agree with this, but this ain't your life. This is my life. And I'm choosing to live a life where I have no regrets, to live a life that makes me happy. And what's going to make me happy at this point in time is to take a risk, to take a chance on my dream right now, to take a chance. I can make up money if needed after this. But right now, I'd rather use the money that's in my savings to go on my dreams versus to pay off this house. It is what it is. It is what it is. To be a responsible, boring person, we can all do that. I would pay off a house and just be like, hey, we're living in a paid off house, but I'm not doing much of anything but sitting here in my paid off house. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take this time to use my money to travel the world. I just am. How does that look specifically? I'm not going to know till I'm out there in them streets. Yes, I've done a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos of others doing this thing, living this life. I kind of see how their budgets look, but how will my budget look? I'm not going to know for sure till I'm out there in them streets. Jay and I. Are we as prepared as we could be? Absolutely not. To be better prepared, the house would be paid off, because all that means is that less money will have to go toward that expense. And more money can go toward us, because we do have ways of bringing in money while we're gone. So more of that money that we bring in can go towards us and not have to worry about overhead. But oh well, it is what it is. We're going to do what we're going to do, because honestly, there's always going to be something. Even when you're like, you know what? In order to leave and pay off and travel the world, I'm going to do this, do this, do this. Save this, save that. Pay off this, pay off. It's always going to be something. It's almost like when people say, I want to have a child, but I'm not ready to have a child because I need to get ready to have a child. And then you realize there's really never a perfect time. Sometimes you just have to throw yourself out there and get pregnant. Oops. Oops. Because even when you do think there's a perfect time and you make the perfect plan, sometimes things have a way of falling apart in midair. So sometimes oops baby is what it is. And so we're going to get out there with this oops baby and we're going to make it happen. And of course we're going to document it along the way. That's the great pivot. Am I still holding on to the dream of paying my house off by December? Absolutely. I'm holding on to that. But what I know for sure is this is when it's truly going to take God. When I can truly say, you know what, y'all, this wasn't me at all. This was nothing but God. And even me going out there to jump out there and travel the world, Jay and I, it's still God. It's still God setting this up for us and who has given us the means to be able to do this, right? So yeah, I already know that there's a lot of people that's not going to agree with me, because y'all are the most responsible things on this planet. Y'all are. Some of y'all are the most judgmental things on this planet. Y'all are. But hey, a good dose of judgment spices up life. I love good judgmental things. I love having something to refute, clap back on. And then sometimes, honestly, judgment gives us all pause, makes us all think the strategy. But what I won't do is walk in the spirit of fear. We don't do that over here. We're not going to walk in the spirit of fear, because yes, there's always something that somebody can do, that somebody thinks they could do better. Even when I had the whole eviction series, and sometimes I go back, well, I actually still get comments on that series, and I read them, and it's so funny how like 3 years later, people are still telling me what I should have done. Dude, whatever I did worked out better than I could have ever planned. But I think some people really enjoy feeling like they're better than, they're smarter than. But honestly, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is your life. How does your life taste? How does the pudding of your life taste? How's the consistency of that pudding? That is the proof. My life looks good and tastes sweet. And I'm very happy with it. I'm very pleased with it. And what I know for sure is every time I followed the path of my intuition, of my instincts, where there was no wobble, and maybe the wobble was not wobble because it was true red flags, but just the wobble of you jumping into something that is different from what you're used to, your norm, the norm of having a 9-to-5 job. I've never failed. I never failed. I feel like I'm put on paths that I'm supposed to be on. And yes, even with all of that, there's still a chance that I could get employed again, that I could get a job. There's still a chance. People are still out there headhunting for me, right? So there's still a chance. But am I relying on that chance? I'm not. Are my hopes pitched upon that chance? They're not. What I'm learning is that in this beautiful life, we just have to ever remain flexible, ever be willing to adjust, ever be willing to say, Lord, now what? And smile and have fun all the same. Let's answer. Yes, baby cakes.
Girl, hold on. Hey, the thing keeps going to my headphones. Are you at home yet?
I'm driving. It says I'm going to get there about 3:30.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm a little bit ahead of you.
Okay, why? What's up?
No, I was just touching base to see you were there.
Oh, okay. So you're going to get there like what, about 3?
3.
28?
Yeah, 3. No. No, I'm actually right down now.
Oh, because
I stopped to pick up a dessert, and then right at the, not too far, right off of 210. So I'll be there right at 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I had a roofing person that came by today, so I was getting that stuff looked at. But yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, so I will see you soon.
Okay, well, drive safely. I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. I'm on my way to my girlfriend Carla's house. It's going to be 8 of us because we're all meeting to talk about a business idea that we have, that we may collaborate in, co-collaborate in. That's what this first meeting is going to be about. What do we want to do and how does that look? And I was like, wow, look at the timing of this, the timing of me leaving a job and then this thing right here. So who knows? Who knows what's in store, right? But my heart is so open and I am so ready. I am so ready. And I kind of do feel like even if I do get another job, I kind of feel like that may be a distraction more than anything. It might be another distraction. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the best thing will probably be for me not to be offered a job anywhere. Then I won't even have to face the choice of the distraction. God knows what I need, and it's going to be all set up accordingly. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like if somebody waves a good job in front of my face, I'm going to take it. God knows that. So Lord, if I'm not supposed to get a job, don't let me get a job. How about that? How about that? I don't want to make a decision. I don't want free will in this. I can't handle it. Because honestly, guys, for years, I've had mentors who always felt like me having a job was a big distraction, who always felt like I wasn't reaching or living in my true potential because I had the comfort of a good job, a good government job. One of the people was the Dick Gregory himself. And he used to say to me, whenever I used to be like, I have to go to work or I'm going to work, he used to hate when I say that. And he used to always correct me by saying, nope, you're going to help some people out for the day. You're going to help some people out for the day. He did not want me claiming or owning a job that wasn't mine, that did not belong to me. Don't claim or own those people's thing. You're going to help them out. But that's not yours. It's not your job. It's something you're doing in the moment. Another person who always felt like that, my great friend Kwame Alexander. He always felt like me having a job was really holding me back. And he's been feeling like that for a good 20 years. 20 years. And now 20 years later, here I am. Here I still am. Ain't reached none of my potential. Ain't finished none of my projects. So we'll see. But that's why, like I said, that's why I'm not even mad at this situation at all. I'm not mad that I got a good job that I loved and I lost a good job that I loved. I'm not even mad at it. I'm ready, and I feel like I've been getting ready for this my whole life. So that's what it is, guys. All right, just wanted to talk to y'all about the pivot and where we're at with that. And once again, I believe on our last mortgage update, we saw that even if I just paid my regular mortgage from here on out, the house will be paid off. I believe it was 4 to 6 years. We'll bleep it in right here, whichever one it was. In 4 to 6 more years, the house will be paid off. And it's still going to be paid off 13 years earlier than a 30-year mortgage. So we still knocked 13 years off of the mortgage. I'm not mad at that at all. The other thing is this. Right now, I am choosing not to send a ton of extra money to the mortgage, a ton of extra money. And when I say a ton, I mean nothing more than $500 extra, if we do that, if we choose to do that. And the reason why is because at this stage, at this point, either the house is going to be paid off all the way, or I can use that money that I would send to the mortgage to supplement my life. In between having jobs, in between having income, right? I'm choosing to use it to supplement my life. Do I regret sending as much money to the mortgage as I've sent over the years? Case in point, just this month, I believe, March, I sent an extra almost $5,000 to the mortgage. The month before that, I sent an extra $20,000 to the mortgage. Do I regret that? Absolutely not. I don't regret it because we never know what's in store. So I will never regret getting my house under $100,000. I'm not regretting that at all. But from here going forward, the only thing that could help me is if the house is just paid off altogether, because then I just won't have that expense over my head, or just keep paying the mortgage as it is and using that money, having that money as a cushion in my bank account to supplement my dreams. my lifestyle of being a traveler until something else pops off. And that something else could be augmented businesses from the YouTube channels, right? Or what we're about to do now, what we're talking about doing now, money flowing in from that, or money flowing in from me actually finishing books and getting out there and touring with my books, or any other business that may pop up, for instance, like the crash pad business, or whatever else may pop up that we, Jay and I, could actually start up and do, and money can flow in that way. Not even sure, and it's okay. I don't have to be over planned for a thing, and I'm not going to be over planned for a thing. I'm going to sit and listen to my instinct, my intuition, the God that resides inside of me. Okay? That's it, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Let's cut.